RadNet, a stronger and more connected community.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a little Rad Up All Night. We're going to get to it tonight, guys. We are going to talk about this new wave of physical media making a comeback. You're seeing articles everywhere. People are doing posts about it, videos about it. And all of a sudden now it's like, oh my God, is Gen Z going to bring physical media back? They're tired of streaming. The streaming stuff is brutal, by the way. It's like you have to get like 10 different services to see certain things. It is shitty. And they're like, you know what? We're going to fight back and we want to own this stuff again and not have to just buy all these movies and these apps. And I've said this before, there's been plenty of times where things have been bought at my house on streaming services. And I'm like, I literally have that downstairs. So I don't know why we're buying stuff and not just asking me if we have it. Or instead of paying $100 or more on seasons of shows, I could just buy the whole complete series for like $40 on Amazon, right? So I think, people are going to start getting sick of it with the streaming stuff. And let's say physical media is coming back. We're going to talk about that today on the show. So that's what this is going to be talking about. My views on this, what I think about this. Do I think this is a thing? Do I think it's a fad? What do I think it is? But put it this way. If it's kind of coming back, if it's kind of trying to make a resurgence of physical media, especially when it comes to DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, and we'll talk about that too. I am here for it. I am here for it as a guide, hopefully. And I'll get into that as well as we go. But the first thing I want to talk about tonight is I want to talk to you guys, the people who are here with me late, the people who are in the chat, the people who are the early birds that came and said what's up. So if you want to say what's up, throw it in the chat now. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to see who's in the house now. And then we'll get into the topic at hand. All right, let's see who we got here. Robert, what's up, brother? He's risen from the dead. The radness is back. 16, dude. Yes. So look at this. Rest in peace, Corey Haim. I cannot believe it is 16 years. I still remember getting that phone call from my friend Mike. And I was literally like coming out of my garage or getting ready to go to work. And he messaged me and he's like, he kind of told me, but he was like, he said something like, dude, like, you're not going to believe me. I swear I'm not fucking with you right now. And, him and I were just really big Haim fans. And we were lucky enough to meet him twice, actually. And we used to kind of always make jokes because he'd come over when I was at my condo. And like, we'd always kind of make jokes like, oh, like, say oh, it's going to be me, Garrett, Mike, Haim. Like, we're all going to hang out. Like, shit like that. We'd always just fuck around. But we're a huge fan of Corey Haim. And his passing was hard, and it's still hard because I do feel like what a talent in one aspect that I feel was kind of wasted. Because when you watch his films, especially into the 80s, early 90s, like he had the it factor. He really did. And unfortunately, Hollywood and other things surrounding him really just kind of took effect on him and his talents. And it's a sad story. It really is. So whatever I can do to keep his name alive, I'm going to do it. So big Corey fan over here. So everybody else who's a big Corey Haim fan, Thank you guys for being here. And yes, definitely rest in peace. It's insane that it's been 16 years already. What up, Nard Kick? Let's go. A-Dub in the house. Yep, guys are giving Haim the props, man. I love it. I love it. What up, Tank? 80s made. Bro, I emailed you. Email me back, homeboy. Dino, what's going on, man? Oh, thanks, dude. I'm trying to come up with a system because I've talked about this before. My life is very hectic. It is very hard to kind of just do everything that I want to do. So I'm trying to do something like, obviously weeks are going to be different, right? Like I'll have more shows. I'm trying to bring Rad Company back. I've already got kind of like the next season lined up. I just got to pull the trigger and start setting dates on it. I would like to do it. Those are more live shows, and it was always fun having guests on, introducing you guys to people that I'm watching and whatnot. So that's always fun. A lot of cool people have been on the show in the past. And if you guys haven't watched it, if you're new to the channel, go check out my playlist, Rad Company, and you're going to see all the episodes in there. And it's just me showcasing other content creators, not just YouTubers, but from all over the map. They're putting out product that I like. And we just kind of find out their journey, kind of talk to them, and it's a fun time. So, it's a series I kind of want to bring back because there's a lot of stuff on the channel that I'm just not doing anymore, so I'm trying to find new areas to kind of, get more content out if I can. But more or less, my game plan right now is 2 recorded videos a week and a live. That's what I want to commit myself to, is at least 3 full videos for you guys. And then obviously, things happen. Sometimes I'll guest on other shows. Sometimes I'll have another show here and there. But my goal is to do 2 recorded and a live. So Tuesday night is pretty good for me because Wednesdays I don't have to be up really, really early. I don't start work until kind of like midday. So Tuesdays kind of works. Noise Loop in the house. What's going on? Been thrifting DVDs lately, seeking out After Dark Horror Fest stuff. Yeah, man. That's kind of what we're going to get into tonight. A lot of that stuff. What's up, William? Bro, wish guys, please. Thank you, man. Dude, you've been in my thoughts, brother. Everybody wish Wet Movie a speedy recovery. He's going through some health issues right now. And keep doing your thing, man. Like, keep getting the help you need. Get that shit together. Chip away at these new habits that I've been up for a long time today. These new habits and lifestyle changes that you're looking to do. Keep at it, man. Chip away. You got this. And it's wild because I've talked about this before. I literally been watching Brendan. Like, he was one of the people that I'm going to kind of refer to with this video where I said, if physical media is back for the Gen Z, like I want to help, right? And I feel like Brendan, Wet Movie, is one of those people that kind of was one of those people to me when I was just a collector at home watching YouTube. And now I want to kind of, give back to the younger generation that might be getting into this stuff. And I'll talk more about that as we go, but I do want to say what's up to you guys. What up, man? Seems like Gen Z are rise. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about for sure. Antonis, what's going on? Midnight program. Go check out my boy. This is Joe Testa. We just did a great show on the channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, like last week, talking about those 2000s horror movies, the Dark Castle ones. It's a real cool, like, hour-long retrospective. If you guys haven't checked that out, please do. It's really, really cool. It's always good to have him on and do those kind of retrospectives and stuff. What's up, 304? How are you? What up, Broken? 304's got popcorn check, drink check, like check. Let's go. Guys, hell yeah. So if you're just kind of hanging with me right now and you're near your computer or phone or whatever, hit that like button for me. It really is a free, easy way to help the channel out. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you like all things movies, nostalgia, collecting, horror, physical media, hit that subscribe button. Check out the content and see if it's something that you're into. What up, man? Dave's in the house. Dave's Archives says physical media. This fire burns always. What up? What Irvy? What's up? Oh, look at that. He's showing the lats. He's showing that barn door back on the picture now. Sick. Hey, man. Thanks so much, guys. The reception on that Vinegar Syndrome video has been awesome. So the fact that you guys really like that, number one. Number two, I've already got another video coming. Basically, it's going to be on the other end of the spectrum of like which Vinegar Syndrome out of print titles should you guys kind of try to chase down. Now, sometimes they're expensive, but I've actually noticed that a lot of these people that were buying everything that maybe just didn't care for them are trying to get rid of this shit. So if you go on Facebook Vinegar Syndrome site, people are selling their collections all the time. eBay. There's people that reached out to me after watching my video and be like, "Hey man, I just got the movie you talked about, the 4K with the slip for cheaper than it's on the site without the slip." Like, you'd be surprised. Some Vinegar Syndrome stuff is big money, but some, like, I think people are just trying to get rid of it. So now's a great time to kind of try to round out some of your Vinegar Syndrome stuff because even me, like I missed a couple things that I've kind of been eyeing. So I went on eBay and I scored some stuff for really good prices. So my next video on that is going to be I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna drop it Sunday, and it's going to be basically 10 out of print Vinegar Syndrome, Blu-rays and 4Ks that you guys should track down because I highly recommend them. And obviously I'll do more of like the ones that are still in print, basically a part two to what I just did. I'm probably going to do that because it seems like you guys are really digging it. And it's a great video to kind of have for any of the sales that are coming up. Alan, what's up? What up, Ben? What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Am I hyped for Punk Roman? Not really. I'm not really hyped for Mania at all. I think it's kind of very lackluster this year. Oh, really? Devil's Advocate trash transfer. Interesting. I love the movie. I have the Blu-ray. I had no intention of upgrading it, but that's interesting. Oh, that's awesome, man. I just got into this. It led me here, Millennial though. Dude, listen, I'm here for anybody who's getting into this. Yeah, Bruce Campbell, I hope for the best for him too. He announced that he did have a cancer. He said it's not curable, but it's treatable, so let's hope for the best. What up, Pig? MAGA, what's up? I loved True Blood. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I was addicted to that show when it was out. I think was it HBO? I remember like buying HBO just for that show. What up, Squish? Yes. Yes. Thanks, man. Always trying to get a ladies vibe going. Always trying to get 80s vibe going. Thanks, no problem, Collector. Appreciate that. What up, Frankie D? There he is. Ian, what's up, man? I hope you had fun at Monster Mania, man. I gotta catch up with you at some point. Bought a bunch of 4Ks Diabolics table over the weekend. I'm out of room. That's gonna be the hardest thing, right? Like that's like the big problem. And I see more guys and gals, whoever. I see people coming in. I don't want to ignore you, but I need to get to the chat. Scratch, Tribe, Noise. I see you guys. Yeah, so collecting is an interesting thing because when you start it, it's fun as hell, and you can kind of get some of your favorites, some lost gems. And when you start getting into years and years of this, as you see behind me here, then it becomes a problem of space. And not everybody has space, right? So it's hard to see when like this new generation of kids or are coming into this physical media collecting game. It's awesome for me. I love it because you got to think about it. Times were different than when a lot of us were getting into this stuff. I was into this stuff because I was exposed to this stuff. My uncle, I say it all the time, is who got me into this. I'll even throw my friend Keith. My friend Keith, I met probably junior, senior year of high school. We worked together and he was really into movies. He worked at Blockbuster. So like we started hanging out. He had a pretty decent DVD collection. So between him and my uncle, they really got me into like the collecting. And I'd always had VHS tapes, but I never was like collecting. My uncle started giving me a lot of his VHS tapes of horror movies that he thought I should definitely check out. And that's kind of how I started my VHS collection. And then at the time, all these video stores were transferring from VHS to DVD. So like a lot of these stores, Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, mom and pop shops, they were giving VHS tapes away. Like there was just hundreds for like $1. right? So I'd go in there and I'd create this huge VHS collection because I was paying nothing for these things. I was just getting into DVDs. So I was buying both. I was buying DVDs, VHS, and I was still living at home at the time. And, as a teenager, I was in college as well. And every Tuesday, my friend Keith and I would go out and buy a lot of the new releases, the store exclusives. My uncle would call me on a Sunday and he'd be like, "Did you check out the paper? Here's what I want. If you pick it up for me, like I'll pay for two of yours or something." And then I'd go to Block Best Buy in Circuit City and buy the ones that we want, bring them to his house, and he would pay me a little bit more for like a delivery fee or whatever. But it was fun. It was so fun back then. And they were at the time that I was doing it, they were kind of affordable as well. It wasn't crazy prices, $20, I would say tops around that time. And then you'd always get the deals like, the $5 bins and, the different sales. And it seemed like I was scoring a lot of stuff, and a lot of stores were starting to do the used stuff. So it was just a way for me to really build the collection. Now there's nothing out there. There's nothing. Like I have some thrift stores. That's like the most I've got as far as like physical media. Walmart, that's it. Barnes and Noble, I guess. But I don't have one super close to me. So, I mean, I've been thrifting a lot, but it's really like needle in a haystack around here when it comes to that stuff. But what I have noticed, and I've talked about this before recently, is that I've noticed that a lot more people are hanging around the DVD section now at the thrift store. And, I hear them talking. They've talked to me, and a lot of these people I've talked to are kind of getting into it now, either getting back into it or getting into it for the first time. And, that kind of opened my eyes. This was even before these articles came out. If you go back on a couple videos like months ago, I've mentioned it a few times on some different shows, but I could see the kids like starting to kind of get back into it, kind of like the same way we did with vinyls and stuff like that. And I do think CDs is probably going to be on the rise as well. And I've actually been kind of going back and buying some CDs I either once had and sold, or always wanted and never bought. Like I'm starting to kind of grab a couple of those things because I've got a collector's mindset, and if I'm not buying tons of movies, I'm finding something else to get. But it's interesting that those articles have come out and have kind of said that the kids are really trying to go backwards and get something more physical to hold instead of just living on that phone and living in that digital world, where everything's at the click of a finger or a click of a button. Because when you have something physical, at least when we were kids, it meant so much more. And people seem to forget, and nobody's really talked about this, but special features, you don't get any of that stuff on digital or on streaming. So when you pick up even a DVD and you're like, "Oh, I had this when I was a kid, and I remember this cool documentary on here." And I mean, these kids are now coming up that grew up on DVDs that are going back and buying these things. And like I said about my uncle, like I said about Brendan, like I'll say about Pizzow, like I'll say about Dead Pit, I'll say about Cool Dude, or like all these people that I was watching just living at home, collecting kind of by myself. I was going on YouTube and finding these people that are interested in this stuff and seeing what they recommended. Oh, wow, these guys like horror. Let's see what they like. And then I'll go and find it, right? So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff I remember people saying. I'm trying to think like which movies exactly that I may have found. Like, obviously, I found Madman from listening to Dead Pit. So there was a lot of these people that really inspired me to like continue collecting, and tips and tricks and what to buy, what to stay away from. Message boards were big back then. But guys, like now we're the voice, right? Like me on this platform is the voice for anybody that's young, that's coming in and being like, "I'm getting into this. Let's see, what this is all about." Like that's where someone like myself will come in. And I would love to be part of that. I would love to be part of that resurgence of physical media, because we all love it. The people that are watching this right now love it. Other content creators that do some stuff like I do as well love it. So if we can kind of be that like voice of the voiceless, I guess, and I'm down. I'm down for it. And to be honest, guys, you got to remember these people coming into the game, like they might not give a shit about boutique labels yet. They might not. They might not care if something's on a 4K deluxe set for $100. They might just want the movie. right? Like you got to remember, like there's different tiers to this now. Like we're all at the top tier because we've been here for so long, and we're the ones that are like, give me better than what I've ever had. Where a lot of these kids are probably, they're still kind of minimalists, I think, and they're just trying to find some of these movies, either classics that they had as a kid or gems that they've never seen before. And that's, like I said, where we come in and be like, hey, check these out. So my first tip for anybody getting into physical media, anybody who's currently into physical media that want to learn about maybe some things that they didn't know about, maybe it's something a little bit out of the box. First thing I'd recommend is to watch my videos. I've been putting out so many videos, hard to find Blu-rays, out of print stuff, classic hard to find DVD editions from back in the day, old relics, like all these things that I'm giving you guys now for people coming up into the physical media game, or people that are maybe getting into horror, or people that are in the physical media game, but, want to find titles that they've never seen or heard of. Like I've been doing a lot of that stuff lately. So if you go into my playlist and you look up, like, I don't know if it's what it's listed under, hard to find movies or out of print or list videos or whatever it is, like there's so much content out there that has to do with physical media. And I try to showcase the physical stuff, even if it doesn't say physical media on the thumbnail. If I'm talking about 10 overlooked movies from the 70s, I'm only picking ones that I own most of the time, because I do want to showcase the physical media aspect for it and show you guys that, hey, it's out there. And if you can't find it streaming, you can find it on physical somewhere. So again, I'm excited for this if the ball keeps rolling, because I think this is a great opportunity for people for me to be like my uncle, and keep this physical media train alive for the new generation coming up. And I mean, who knows, if it gets popular, then who's to say? Maybe Best Buy brings it back into the stores and, we have a little resurgence. I don't know. Maybe more store exclusives. Like I'd love that stuff. It's hard to think in life that you'd go backwards, but vinyl kind of proved us wrong, right? Vinyl is at Walmart. Vinyl is at Target. Vinyl took over a lot of where the DVD section was. And back when I was collecting DVDs, vinyls were as dead as VHS tapes are, or were. And now look at VHS. VHS is a collectible commodity now. That shit is expensive. There's VHS tapes going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So again, if we can kind of be that voice of the voiceless for a lot of people that maybe are getting into this stuff, like that's what I want to be. I want to help. I want to be one of those people that, you guys come to and say, oh, what does he recommend? I'm going to go try to find it. Now, my second big tip, especially when it comes to DVDs, and now I'm not talking about 4Ks and stuff like that, stuff we can get on any website. I'm talking about you're strolling through a thrift store and you're like, you know what, I'm going to try to buy some shit today and really beef up my collection. I'm really into horror. What should I do here? What should I look for? Well, I've talked about this too in a lot of my videos. Is what I do is I look at labels, because sometimes there's so many out there. I'm like, I can't be like this. I'll be there all day. So I scroll and I look for labels, because the specific labels that I feel like you guys should really keep your eyes out for, horror and non-horror, that always either were hard to find, maybe are still hard to find. Maybe those movies haven't got a re-release yet. And some of the ones I want to talk about is the big one for me is Anchor Bay. You guys know I'm co-host of the Anchor Bay Archives podcast. We talk all about these Anchor Bay titles from back in the day. So every time I'm at the thrift store, I'm looking for this little boat down here. You can see it at the bottom, right? I'm looking for that little sailboat. And that means Anchor Bay. Anchor Bay titles. And I've heard this plenty of times recently. People like, dude, since you guys have started the podcast, all the Anchor Bay shit's going up in price. Maybe. I'm not going to say that wasn't our goal, is to give it a little resurgence, give DVDs a little kick in the ass for collectors. And I sure as hell buy what we're going to talk about before prices do go up. But always look for the boats, guys. Always look for the boats, because not only are you going to maybe find some shit that's hard to find, but you're going to get some quality films out of there. Look at this. Society. Boom. This is an expensive DVD still. Can you get Society on Blu-ray? Sure, you can. But if you don't give a shit about that kind of stuff, here's one. Society. You could find this at the thrift. Spontaneous Combustion. I don't even think this has another release. I don't think. Here's one that doesn't. Anguish. Like, again, these are hard to find Anchor Bay titles, but you never know. You might be walking around a used store and these things be sitting on the shelf and you don't realize that there's gold sitting there because some of those movies haven't even been released again. The next one I'm going to talk about is another label called New Concord. And they were responsible for a lot of the slumber party stuff. So that label, it's hard to tell. My thing's not focusing, but it's almost like a little, it almost looks like a little rainbow, black and white. It says New Concord on the bottom. That's another one to look for. New Concord have a lot of movies that were hard to get because New Concord went out of business. I think that was Corman's shit. And a lot of that stuff hasn't seen the light of day again. So if you see some discs with New Concord on the bottom, that's one to check out. Those are ones to hunt down. They're either still valuable or there's films in there that probably haven't got upgrades. Another big one, Code Red. See the bottom there. Again, I don't know why this is not focusing, but it says Code Red and it's always got a little number on there. That's another thing to look for. Code Red. Code Red was a very boutique horror label that came out that felt so underground back then. If you were getting Code Red stuff, you were really in the mix of horror DVD collecting because literally for a long time they were like on a little big cartel store and you'd have to get them on like this weird site where you had to like type your credit card in every time and they would sell out very quickly. So if you see any Code Red stuff hanging around, pick it up. They had some Blu-rays as well, not as many, but they had a lot of DVDs for a while. That was a big, horror label to go after. A lot of that stuff has been re-released. Kino's done some stuff, but there's a lot that are still hanging around on DVD. But I found for some reason, no matter what, Code Red DVDs, even if they have upgrades, still going for a pretty penny on eBay. Now, another big one, we talked about this movie, Collision Course, hasn't had another release. Why? I don't know. It's HBO Video. HBO Video stuff has a tough time. Night Flyer is another one. It took Hitcher a long time to get a release. But if you're looking at a DVD spine and you see at the bottom HBO Video, not saying buy everything, but check it out. Maybe look on eBay, see what it's going for. Does it have any other releases? In Anchor Bay too, there's a lot of like fitness videos from Anchor Bay. Thomas the Tank video. Don't buy everything Anchor Bay, but look at it. Look it up, see what it's worth. TriStar is another one. Look, there's like Toy Soldiers. They did Lover Boy. So TriStar is another label to check out. They're more not horror, but definitely want to check out. Same with Touchstone, right? So you got things like Can't Buy Me Love. You got Captain Ron. There's so many. I think Encino Man maybe. What About Bob? So like Touchstone is another one. Their logo is at the top. So that's another one to look for. Touchstone is at the top. I think Disney owns all that shit. So, that doesn't help as well. Another one is Lionsgate. So I've got a Corey Haim film right here. This is Double O Kid. Now, Lionsgate still has a lot of movies that haven't seen the light of day since DVD. But what you want to look for when you're looking for Lionsgate stuff is the old logo. And I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to show this because it's not going to show up good. It's down here and on the back, but it says Lionsgate and it's got that lion on it. So I can't believe I can't get this. But it's like a little line. It's a different Lionsgate logo than we see now. It's the old one. That's the logo to look for if you're going to pick up some DVDs and you're wondering if those movies are, hard to get or, haven't been re-released. Check for that logo. That's a tricky one. So like, Pinocchio's Revenge has that. There's a lot of those older, Lionsgate. It's that old logo. Those are the ones to look for. These are always fun. Like some of these have re-releases, but they were always really cool releases back in the DVD days. And this is the MGM ones. So if you look at the top, it says MGM DVD on it. So I just throw some examples. So Shredder, I think this does have a Blu-ray, but Clown House doesn't. So you'll never see this fucking thing again. But again, they all used to have the little DVD, MGM DVD at the top. And I'm going to talk a lot more about these again. I did a whole show with Christian talking about these things, but I'm going to do another show talking about these again in the future. Another label is kind of an obscure one. Artistry. It's hard to tell. It's like a little triangle down there. But look, you got Killer Tongue that hasn't really been re-released. The Surgeon, kind of like a little bit more wacky, bonkers horror. But yeah, Artistry. It's like a little triangle. You can see it right here. And again, I apologize that this is not zooming in really well. And a big one, guys. I talk about this all the time. Artisan. Artisan. See the top? See how it's got that black? It says Artisan up there. Rumpelstiltskin, the limey. And then it always says Artisan at the bottom here. So if you're scrolling the shelves, it says Artisan along the bottom. Artisan's another label that I would always recommend. At least if you see it on the shelf, take it out, see what it is. Because there's a lot of movies in there that haven't got upgrades. These have, but again, I don't know what it is. You still look up, Rumpelstiltskin DVD on eBay, and it's still going for quite a bit of money, which is wild because it does have a Blu-ray and a 4K and shit. So, but again, if you're collecting, for what's the word? Because you're just getting into it and you don't care about format and you want to get some cool shit, those are good ones. If you want to preserve like classic physical media editions, that's another reason that you can check these out. Another one is obviously I want to talk about is Trimark. Trimark is a big one. So Trimark has things like Dead Alive, which again, the Trimark logo is up at the top. So again, if you guys listen to me ramble and you want to take notes on some of this shit, I think this just got a re-release recently, The Ugly. I think someone put this out. But again, it's another Trimark. All the Leprechauns with Trimark. And I threw this one in there just to kind of throw it in. Elite Entertainment. Don't Mess with My Sister. This is the original. We call it a rookie release. I think this was the first Evil Dead DVD ever. It was put out by Elite Entertainment. So a lot of the Elite stuff Anchor Bay got. So I'm not going to say, get it if it says Elite. This is for like people like me who are like really into, classic physical media editions. I don't need this in my collection. I've got Evil Dead about a freaking 25 times. But there's something about this edition because it was the first time Evil Dead ever hit physical on disc, DVD, not Laserdisc or anything. So this always kind of holds a special place in my heart. But Elite's always a cool one to find. If you find any Elite stuff, that's kind of fun because a lot of that was like Anchor Bay kind of before it became Anchor Bay. But yeah, so that's my second biggest tip, and that's mostly DVD related. Obviously, if we're talking about you're thrifting and you see a Blu-ray or 4K and you see a Vinegar Syndrome logo on the side or a Scream Factory or something, obviously that's killer. But we're not seeing a lot of that yet. But if it's DVD you're after, those are a couple tips. Is to look at the labels, and that's usually a good kind of indicator. At least that's what I'm doing at this point, based on what I'm looking for. I'm always looking for labels, always looking for kind of hidden gems. But that's my second tip. So first tip, watch my videos. Second tip, look for labels on some of these physical media releases, and that can kind of gear you into the right direction if you're like finding something pretty cool or not. And again, this is mostly into the obscure type of stuff. If you're out there looking for Star Wars, like you're going to probably find it, but this is like those hidden gems, needle in the haystacks type things. So, but yeah, that's what I look for when I'm out. And I do think that, the resurgence of this stuff is super important, and not just myself, but anybody who's got a platform. It could be Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, TikTok, YouTube. We're all part of this. We're all the ones that are going to keep this ball rolling, posting content, because all those people that are going to get into it, they're going to search social media to find these things. And all of a sudden they come across a page like yours or mine that's posting a lot of this stuff. They're going to use you as kind of like their guide, right? As their example of like, oh, what that guy just posted this. Like, I'm going to go check and see if I can find that somewhere, eBay or whatever. And then obviously the more people start to get into this stuff, I think, that's when the boutiques and stuff like that are going to start, becoming eye openers for a lot of these people. But Gen Z is funny because I feel like in one aspect, physical copies do make sense for them. It's kind of going against the system. But at the same time, I also feel that a lot of them are minimalists as well. So I don't know if they're going to accrue shit like this. Like, I don't know if that's, if that's something they want. They might want one of these shelves and say, hey, when it's filled, it's full. And if I buy more and it doesn't fit on the shelf, I'm going to get rid of some shit, right? So again, they just might have a different way to collect. And there's no right or wrong way as long as we're keeping this thing alive. And like I said, it's important that our generation can kind of help the younger generation because it's just such a different world now. It was a lot easier back then when people were telling you something, telling you a story, showing you things, and you're really kind of buying into it because you're like, wow, this is cool. This is different. We live in a world of fast pace, touch of a button. Like things don't feel as important as they once did. So that's why it's up to us, I think, to kind of keep this thing afloat. If this is what's really happening, and I do think that there is some meat to this bone about the physical media because I've seen it firsthand, and we don't have a lot of places around here for people to go. So when you see people really in the thrift store doing their thing, something's up. So let me see. And I see this really quick about sorry guys, I'm way behind in the chat, by the way. I think the only issue I can see with physical media being the news is companies increasing. That could be it. But like I said, I do also think that that this new generation isn't going to jump right into the boutique market yet. I don't even think they're going to really even jump into the 4K market yet, to be quite honest with you. I think they're going to be in it for a physical copy of a movie that they love. And I think that's all they give a shit about right now. I think in time, maybe. I'm hoping that physical media companies don't continue to increase because that's not good for us either. But I'll tell you this, I haven't bought a lot in a while. I get sent things here and there. Even that, I've asked some people not to send me stuff anymore. I'm not getting to it. I'm not watching it. I don't have all the space. So I'm being a lot more picky now with what I have sent. I'm getting a lot more picky now with what I'm picking up. Like I said, I'm buying more DVDs. I'm buying more VHS tapes than I am 4Ks now. And that's just kind of my preference of what I'm interested in. It's a lot more fun to do the content. It's a lot less expensive. And if there's stuff I need for my collection, then I have no problem picking it up. Like I said, I just got Demon Warp from Vinegar Syndrome, and it's probably one of the coolest releases I've gotten in a long time. And I had no problem paying the money for it. I didn't want to wait for a sale. I wanted it now. I didn't own it. I haven't seen it. I don't know, 30 years, maybe 20 years. And watching it for the first time, it felt like on 4K, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I'm so glad I paid for this. I'm so glad I got this in my collection. Now, am I going on Vinegar Syndrome and buying everything they're putting out? No. I'm waiting for sales on a lot of stuff. There's still a lot of stuff I want, but I know I don't need this right this second. I have this movie. But when it goes on sale, I'll pick it up. So again, it's just coming up with your own rules, I think, is what really is going to keep things going, at least for everybody's wallet, for your sanity. Don't let the FOMO thing for a while was kicking a lot of people's asses, I think, because they were looking up to people that had channels and Instagrams and a following and seeing what they were buying, and they wanted everything, and then realizing, holy shit, I can't afford all this stuff. So again, create your own rules. I don't think, as much as people are going to bash DVDs, 4K looks better. This is the way it's supposed to be seen. I get it. But sometimes I just don't give a shit, right? I don't. And I don't think a lot of people do either. Some do, but I also think some don't. So again, just kind of try to make your own rules so this stays fun for everybody. Because I'll tell you, I have been burnt out. I do feel burnt out on new releases. It wasn't as fun for me as it was before. I don't need to get every new thing and then post about it right away. I don't. Some things I'll get. I'm looking right now. I got Westworld. Of course, I picked that up. I love that one. Some of these are just out of print Vinegar Syndrome stuff I'm going to do a video on. But, I am still buying stuff. I bought, like I said, Demon Warp. But, yeah, like I said, best thing that you guys can do, guys, is have your own rules when it comes to this stuff. What you like, what you don't like. Don't feel like you have to do everything everyone else is doing. And if you're just getting into this, I hope you like the kind of content I'm putting out. Other people in the same community that's doing this stuff is putting out. And hopefully it keeps this kind of passion and hobby alive. I got a super chat somewhere. Who is this? Where is he? You're way down. I'm sorry. I'm way behind. Now I'm going to be even more behind because I'm skipping everybody's comments. I got to find that. Here we go. Who was that? Look at this. VHS After Dark. It was a VCR After Dark. What's up, brother? Do you think Vinegar Syndrome titles will be this Friday? I think they'll re-release on Mass Part 25. It's so funny you say that because Unmasked 25 was a movie I was talking about in my next Vinegar Syndrome video about an out-of-print movie that I think you guys should check out. Now, I may cut that if they'd release it because my video is going to come out after Friday. So I may cut that. Now, do I think they need to re-release Unmasked 25? No. I say in my video, I like it, but it's not for everybody. It's not. It's even hard for me to tell people to go try to pick this up for out of print prices. Now, if they re-release it, I won't buy it unless it's like some extraordinary edition I can't say no to. But I have the slipcover, I have the Blu-ray. I don't need this in a 4K. I do a video on it, guys. If you want to know a little bit more about Unmasked 25, go into my videos and just type in Friday the 13th, A Love Story. Okay, that's the name of the video. And I do a whole video on that movie. And it's basically exactly what it is. It feels like Jason falls in love with a blind woman. And it's like a love story, but with a hockey mask killer. So it's an interesting movie. It's kind of fun, but goofy at the same time. But I can tell you right now, if they announce Unmasked 25, you're not going to see everybody jumping up and down with their hands saying, oh my God, hip, hip, hooray. It's back in stock. I can't wait. They're going to be probably pissed, to be honest. They're going to be like, oh, really? What the hell? Why do we need this again? Is this what they're going to do is start re-releasing everything? See, and that's another fear too. Like, I am not going to rebuy all these Vinegar Syndrome Blu-rays on 4K. I'm just not. Now, again, there will be exceptions to rules, sure. But 9 times out of 10, I am not going to. I think they're perfectly fine. But if that's what they're going to do, I think that gets over poorly, to be honest with you, because there's not many people like me that actually will give a shit about that movie. And if we do, we probably already have it from them. So I don't think we're all going to want to buy it again. So I just think that would be kind of a shitty surprise, I guess. Let me see. I'm way down. So guys, if I missed you, I'm sorry. And if you want me to answer a question, pop it back in again. What up, Greg? It's crazy to think that VHS and cassettes have gotten a resurgence yet. There aren't many tape. Exactly. And that's going to be the big problem with a lot of this stuff, right? There's not a lot of players around. Thrift stores where you can get it. Even DVD players, like, is that even still a thing? I mean, luckily I have a bunch of them still, but the upside is you can find DVD players at thrift stores easy. You know, that's the other thing too. The new generation will get bored of it quick when it doesn't register enough engagement on TikTok. Sure. I mean, it depends. Are they going to try to bring the love of physical media to platforms and talk about it? Or is it going to be something they're just going to want to watch with their friends? See, that's the thing. We don't know what this generation's take is. Like, are they going to utilize it for content? Or are they going to just say, hey, I want to shut off my phone for an hour and a half and have a nostalgia kick and put, a scary movie on DVD on my TV and laugh with my friends. I don't know. I don't know what these new collectors will be interested in doing. Maybe it'll be an escape from things like TikTok and Instagram. Let's all shut our phones down and, act like it's the 90s or early 2000s again and just watch these movies and have fun and not worry about our phone. Maybe it'll be a good, change. And I find the same thing. I'm on my phone a lot, and sometimes I'll watch a movie, and if I'm getting messages here and there or emails and I'm editing and stuff, sometimes I'm like half watching a movie. But those times that I actually just put the phone down and watch the movie, I feel like I always get a better experience, even if it's something I've seen multiple times. So maybe it's going to be an easy way for them to kind of turn everything off. Who knows? Now, the content thing, you're right. That's a tough thing too. If they're going to use it for content, it's not easy doing content, guys. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for anybody. social media is all over the place now. All of a sudden, you post 25 things, one thing hits, and you're like, what did I do different there? And you still don't know. I still don't know. So that's why you always got to kind of try to keep evolving and stuff like that. I don't need any VHS. I don't want any VHS porn. Second and Charles, see, like, I don't have anything cool like that. Those are the places you need to go to. The VHS, the VCR stuff, yes. Like, it's hard to, like, I have a couple VCRs. This is my go-to right here because, I have some stuff that's hooked up to like a friggin' 65-inch OLED or whatever. Like, this is my favorite way to watch it. To be honest, this looks fantastic. Like, I'm turning around right now. Like, the quality looks great. It was made for this kind of TV. You put this tape in a 65-inch OLED, it's going to look like ass. So this is my preferred way to watch it. Now, again, I'm watching it on like a 1980s CRT VCR combo. When this thing shits the bed, I don't know what I'm going to do. Can I get it repaired? Where do I go? I have no idea. Do I just toss it? Do I try to find another? See, that's the problem. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, again, I don't need a lot of comedies in 4K either. There's some I'll get, some I don't care for. I got a whole wall of comedies here. A lot of these are out on Blu-ray and 4K. I have upgraded some of them. I will not upgrade all of them, but I still love them. I agree. FOMO is wearing off in comparison to what it's been the last couple of years. And I'm not sure if it is due to a lot of people not being able to afford everything anymore. Maybe some people getting burnt out. So not everybody's posting the same brand new release every week where then everybody's like, oh, I must need that. I don't know. Maybe these companies are pushing people away because of all the re-releases and stuff. I don't know. You'd be surprised some of these things are still working. It is a death by stereo, sure, yes. VHS had the best art. That is exactly the problem. That's exactly the problem. I think that's where we're going to run into issues. Yeah, and that's the thing. You've got to be mindful of your space. As of right now, I am very fortunate that I have the space I have. It wasn't always this way. Let me see. Is 4K the price, or should I stick with my Blu-ray player? I'm going to say it depends. I don't know what your financial status is. I'll be quite honest with you, and I know I'm going to probably get a lot of shit for this, but there's a lot of times that I'll watch something, and unless I watch the Blu-ray literally like right before, I may not tell that much of a difference. If it's a movie I've watched 100 times, I will probably tell a difference. But like, somebody said, "Oh my god, the new Westworld looks great." And I was like, "Yeah, it looked good," but I'm like, I don't know how much better it looked than the Blu-ray. But again, I had the Blu-ray from Shout Factory or whoever the hell put it out originally. I forget who it was now. And I thought it looked great, but I hadn't watched it in so long that when I put the 4K in, I was like, oh wow, this looks really good. But I mean, in comparison, I don't know how much better it looked. But again, that's just me. There's people out there that's eyes are way better than mine that might put a 4K in and be like, oh, so much better because of this. That's just not me. I look at it and say, looks great, or it looks like shit. I will say, like I talked about in a video before, I thought Creepshow 2 4K blew the Blu-ray out of the water. I will say that. That one I did notice. I think the Lost Boys Blu-ray looks fantastic, but the 4K, it doesn't look better, but it looks different. So for me, I'm not going to toss my Lost Boys Blu-ray because it's like all color corrected and shit. So it's like watching it two different ways for me. And I know that movie like front and back. So when I put it on for the first time, I knew right away it looked different. But again, everybody's different. They got all different setups, right? Like everybody's setup's different. So it's a hard answer. I don't think it's like jumping from DVD to Blu-ray. I'll tell you that much. I don't think it's that drastic. When I jumped from DVD to Blu-ray, it fucking blew my mind. So I don't think it's that extreme. Hard Rain from Vinegar Syndrome. That would be cool. Any thoughts on the Shutter canceling? I mean, I don't know why they did. I don't know whose decision that was. Maybe it was Joe Bob's. I don't know. I didn't look that far into it. I think it's going to hurt them. I think that was a staple show that was keeping them around. I'll tell you this, I don't have Shutter anymore. Just I wasn't watching it. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's not for everybody, but I like a lot of weird shit. And that's the thing, right? Like, you've only got so much space to work with. Did I answer it? I'm sorry, man. I don't know which one you asked. Yeah, Blu-ray players can play DVDs, yeah. Unreal Super. What? Jeepers Creepers 5 with Jenna Ortega? That's shitty. That's brutal. Why are we still doing Jeepers Creepers should be dead and buried by now. I will not watch any Jeepers. I have not watched Jeepers Creepers since part 2. I have no interest in Jeepers Creepers anymore. But with Jenna Ortega, that's odd. That is a good tip. Thrifting tip. Open the cases and confirm it's the right movie. Yes, I've had that happen to me before. 100%. 100%. Yeah, agree. You don't at this point you don't need a DVD player. I would say buy Blu-ray at least, unless you want to spend more money to get a 4K, because everything's gonna play DVDs in there. Yeah, that's exactly. Exactly, because that's the thing, you guys, that not enough people talk about that when it comes to streaming. Like, you miss out on all the extra shit, right? And like a lot of that stuff is really cool. A lot of that stuff is really cool, especially the docs and stuff like that. Mimic 4K. I didn't get that. I have the Blu-ray of it, but I didn't get this. I am not going to get either of those. No. See, like I don't see any CRTs at my thrifts and stuff. I did not. I thought about it. I would love it, but I just don't want to spend the money on it. But I'll say this, dude. I love Troll 2. I love Troll 2. So for me, that was a no-brainer. I love that movie. I still think that's a great release. But I can see people watching it that are like, "Ugh, this was terrible," because it is not a good movie, but again, I like schlocky shit like that. I miss the 80s too, my friend. Miss the 80s and the 90s, for sure. Yeah, that's another thing too. FOMO was a lot stronger back then because it felt like things were a lot more limited than they are now. For sure. I agree with you on that too. What up, Gory Tiger? Gory Tiger. Jamie Hart in the house. What's up, girl? Any Trimark titles that'd be good for an upgrade? Like, are you asking, are there any Trimark titles that are up that have upgrades or that need upgrades? Trimark that need upgrades? I'm looking at my Trimark stuff right now. Here's ones that I don't think have upgrades. The Curve, Cut, The Landlady, Killer Instinct, Crocodile. Again, those aren't masterpieces by any chance, but those some of the ones that I can see from here that don't have any other releases yet. But if you're looking for any other ones, like I said, Dead Alive's the big one. Guys, we have 131 people in here. I appreciate all of you guys. It's late on a Tuesday. Please do me a favor, hit that like button while you're waiting. I'm going to answer a couple more questions and get out of here. Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Thousands. I have no idea. Wait till mom finds out, buddy. Did I pre-order Eraser Steelbook? I did not. I didn't even know that it came out. Was that a Lionsgate? I'll probably get Eraser. Oh, really? Huh. That is interesting. You know what they should? You know what he should do? He should team up with Rhonda and do something together. That's what he should do now, to be honest with you. Somewhere else. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna go out and say this 100%. Tubi is the best app out there. I'm ready to cancel Netflix. I was watching it for Cobra Kai and Stranger Things. I'm done with Netflix. Actually, actually, I'll be honest. I didn't even finish Stranger Things. I don't even know if I have any interest in doing it. Maybe I should probably do that before I cancel it. But like a lot of these things, like I don't need these anymore. Tubi is my go-to. Like I just canceled Shutter. Tubi is my go-to. I highly recommend anybody who does not have Tubi, get it. Because a lot of these movies that I talk about on my videos that I'm like, oh, these, these overlooked gems that, you should try to go hunt down. A lot of these are on Tubi. Tons of them. Like I have a list of things I want to talk. Here's what you can expect from my channel. My freaking Hammer ranking is coming. I have it right here. I just got to do it. Okay. On Thursday, you're going to get part 2 of Almost Horror, which is basically talking about movies that are kind of accepted in the horror community, even though they're not horror. But if you like horror movies, you definitely should check these out because they kind of fall on that fine line. So I have that coming out. Like I said, out of print Vinegar Syndrome is coming. Where am I? And then I have like Tubi, like a Tubi list of movies that I've seen on Tubi or that are on Tubi that are hidden gems that you guys should check out. So those are a lot of things that are definitely coming. Let me see. I will definitely buy the Stone Age because I think the movie's okay. I wasn't always the biggest Stone Age fan like a lot of people. I think it's fine. Um, but I'm collecting all the Vestrons and you're right, I don't have it. So it is definitely one I want to check out. That doesn't have a oh yeah, no, it does. It does not. I'm thinking Biodome. I don't think Stone Age had a Blu-ray, right? But I'll definitely get it. Yeah, physical media, it does look better than streaming on quality, correct. What? When the Silent Night, Deadly Night 4K came out, it had 2 discs of the same disc and had to send it back. Too many mistakes these days. Like, there's a lot of mistakes these days. I think people are rushing things. Love Dumb and Dumber. Love Dumb and Dumber. Yes. So there's a lot of Tubi's great for a try before you buy. 100%. Was it someone's birthday? Happy birthday, Metal Greg. Dude, what? That is awesome. That is awesome. I've never seen that in the theater. It looks like a blast, though. Yeah, that's great. Like, I got lucky with this one. I was searching for one of these for so long, and I couldn't find one because I wanted a white one. And guys, I just happened to be on Facebook Marketplace, and a guy like couple towns over had one for man, I would have bought this thing for a couple $100 if I would have found one. But this guy, I think I paid him like $40 or something. It was a steal. But you know what it was is that I waited. I was patient. I could have easily found one and paid $300 for it, and I almost did. But I was like, I got to be patient. Something will come around. Thankfully, it did. 100%. Oh yeah, Vinny, Vincent. Yeah, he's in TNA now. He's in TNA now. I am so excited for Frankenhooker 4K. And you're right. Like, man, I'm going to tell you right now. I wish some of these companies would listen. I'm being selfish. They should listen to me and to dude. Like Dead Pit and I had talked to Felcher, talked to Don May, and again, we're playing Monday morning quarterback, right? It's not our money. It's not our money. I get it. But in this day and age, like you've got to, if you're going to be re-releasing something, sometimes it's not just about the title anymore. It isn't. Like Frankenhooker, I am going to buy because I love the movie. But to be honest, like I'm not as stoked as I would have been if it would have got some kind of fancy box or gimmick or something like that. Like Frankenhooker to me deserves a definitive edition. And I don't think this 4K, from what I've seen, is the definitive edition. I don't. I think it's going to look the best, but I think from a collecting standpoint, it's missing a huge opportunity. Huge, huge opportunity. A talking hard box would have been fucking amazing. And again, all you had to do was you just sell the regular version, and then you say, you know what, we're going to do 100 hard box versions. That's it. And then you take the disc and you slip it right into the hard box, and there you go. You just have the hard boxes and you just slip them in, have them numbered. You're not making a second edition. You're just making a box and then putting the regular edition in it. I think there was just opportunity there. I really do. I really do. And I've been talking to other companies out there that, I said the same thing to. And it just sucks because it's not my money. So I can say this is what's going to work, but if I'm not the one that's paying the bills, then it really doesn't matter. But I'm trying to help because I understand how collectors think. And in 2026, when everything's been re-released 1,000 times, you need to somewhat think outside the box. And if you want to limit that, then limit it. Make it a little extra money. I would have paid, I don't know how much Frankenhooker is, but I'll tell you this. I would have paid $70 for it if they housed it in a talking box. I would have. That's me. But if they do 100 of those, I'm sure you could get 100 people to pay 70 for that box. I don't know how much it costs to make it, but I know $70, for 100 boxes is a lot of money. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing I think a lot of these companies should do. Like some of these companies do it very well. Umbrella does it very well. A lot of these companies do. And not everybody wants to pay $100 edition. I get it, but don't make it the norm, right? Give them the option. You have, a group of psychopaths that are going to pay it, and then a lot of people that won't. But give the option. I think there's just a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of opportunity on the table that aren't being taken advantage of. And I don't know if it's just because they're nervous. Like, what if it doesn't work? What if people don't buy it? What if I lose money? I get it. But I think in the market that we're in, these are the things that are going to put an edition over. I'll hand it to Ignite. Like Ignite, for only releasing like 2 freaking movies or whatever, maybe they've done like 3. They really put a lot out there. And you know what? I spent the money and got that brand new Bride of Reanimator set with the little guy, because that little prop guy, I don't have something like that. I paid the extra money. Not everybody will, but they gave you an option and they were ballsy enough to do it. Now, again, Don May put up 100 hard boxes that talk and see what sells and just print them on demand, I guess. I don't know. But it would have been cool. It would have really been cool to have that. But I wish more companies would think outside the box when it comes to certain things, especially movies that have been re-released multiple times. Even Fright Night 2, I'm so excited for. And I know we had mentioned to, Slippy, like, oh, maybe, do like a coffin box or something. That's a little bit different, right? Because now we're talking something that's big, giant. And I get it if that's not going to work. But I just think I'm not going to explain. I've been helping on a release, and I don't want to talk about it until I can talk about it. Now, there's going to be a big story behind it probably someday, but it basically goes to show exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I can't say anything yet, but someday I will talk about this, and I will explain exactly what I'm talking about right now, with thinking outside the box and getting collectors excited for something. Did you already ask me this? I already answered. I did not. Let me see. I'm way behind, guys. I appreciate. Oh, another super chat. What's up, Mike? What's up, Elm Street? 4K box is the only way to watch it from now on. It is a great set. It really is. It was my favorite set of the year. Thank you, Dino. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't. For the looks of it, it just looks like it's. Is it a hard box? Like, I mean, that's what I don't understand. Like, is it just like this, like a slip? Sorry, I'm showing you what's going to be my next video. Um, is it just going to be a slip, or is it going to be like? Why wouldn't they have made it like Deadly Spawn? At least is it a hard box? I don't think it is, which I think is a huge mistake. I mean, that's a huge title. If you're going to give Blue Sunshine a big edition, you should give Frankenhooker a big edition for sure. But it didn't look like it was. What do I think about Dead Pit and Ice Nine Kills going back and forth? I like Ice Nine Kills. I have always liked Ice Nine Kills. I've liked Ice Nine Kills before they were even a horror band. So I'm not going to say anything about Ice Nine Kills on the negative. It's not for everybody, but no music's for everybody. I hate country music. There's probably people watching right now that are like, "What? Country music's great." I fucking hate it, and I like mostly any kind of music except that. But and Dead Pit like country music. I can't stand it. So if they don't like it, they don't like it. But you guys, you don't realize too, a lot of what you see is not what you see, right? Like there's no real feud. It's just it's like play feud. It's like play. Like Spencer took that video and was a huge and it was a great sport about it, to be honest. Like I didn't look at that video and think it was like he was mad. I looked at that video and he was kind of like he was kind of tickled by it, I think. And the thing with Sean Clark too, Sean Clark and Dead Pit are close. So it wasn't anything negative from that aspect. It was just kind of like fun and games. And then of course, it sparked controversy or it sparked people checking it out. So of course Dead Pit wanted to cash in on that or rebuttal on that and do another video because it was a hot topic. But I wouldn't look at it as anything but playing basically at this point. Um, do they really not like the song? No, they really don't like the song, but I don't think anybody's angry about any of it. I have those movies cold praise. I think I have them on Blu-ray. Let's see. Is Frankenhooker like Return? I mean, I guess there's some similarities to it, sure. But Frankenhooker's a lot of fun, man. It really is. When I get that release, I'm gonna do a video on it, and I'm also gonna tell a story about that about Frankenhooker because I kind of have a story about that movie because of how I found it and my first time watching it, what I thought. But it's a trip, man. It's a lot more comedic than Return of the Living Dead 3. So if you know Henenlotter's work, like Basket Case and stuff like that, there's a lot of that elements to it. It's fun. It's a fun as hell movie. That don't I mean 100%. I recommend it. It's great. It's so good. But again, you got to know what you're getting into because it's comedic as well. Yeah, I mean, again, like some of these things, like we're not, I would never say this is the only way it should be released. I'll say give an option, and you know what? If you're afraid of like what if it'll make money, then don't print so many. 100%. It could be done. I'm just surprised no one's really messed with it yet. Patty Mullen and James Lorenz are so nice. Yes, I totally agree. You know what? That's another thing too. I almost bought that release, but I knew Synapse was putting theirs out. So you're saying Synapse is not going to have the extra cut on there? So you're saying that like if I want that extra cut, I have to get the refuse one? I'm excited because I don't have it. And I have not seen that movie since it came out. So again, when I say, "Oh, it's okay," I don't have anything to compare it to. I haven't seen it since I was like a friggin' teenager. What up, Beyond? Garrett is dropping a bonus feature on Necro. Yeah, right. If only. If only. All right. Well, at least it's a hard box. I mean, at least Yeah, like kind of like they did with Deadly Spawn. I hope it's part of like that line. We do need Cheerleader Camp 4K, but I don't know if we're gonna get it. What up, man? Fluff. Do I think physical media will come back? Definitely a lot of people. Yeah, I talk about that at the beginning of the video, so go back and definitely check it out. I give my whole speech on that. But I do think that there's some meat on that bone. I do. And I really do think that it might be up to people like us, the old timers, to keep this ball rolling, to help this new generation, this younger generation, get interested in this stuff. I really do think that we are going to be a catalyst of it. I mean, people, those those kids are probably watching more YouTube than they are on TV, right? So if it is something they become interested in, then they're going to try to do some research, and hopefully they find someone like myself or people that are doing the same thing, and we can kind of guide them to, loving it as much as we did. And the only reason that I love it is because of, people on YouTube that I used to watch, and people that are around me in my life that also collected that, we would collect together. So, I mean, to be, if we don't do it, if we don't do it and keep this alive, it's gonna die a slow death, put it that way, because everything is streaming now, and I don't see it totally going away. So that generation under us that grew up to only streaming, they're not gonna talk about physical media with someone younger than them. So I think it's really our generation that's hopefully with platforms like this are gonna kind of keep it alive with younger gens, I think. Oh yeah, I mean it's all a ball bust for sure. We need that Rocktober blood. I just talked about that in my last video for sure. What up, DC? I grabbed Tag. I have not seen Tag ever, but I did pick it up. I've heard Dolly's great, but I haven't cannot say I was the biggest fan. I actually heard it was really good, but I have not seen any. I haven't even watched um Jamie, you're killing it over there. Troll, Frankenhooker, I love it. I have not even seen a trailer for Dolly. See what you get. Sorry, guys, I'm flying through this. I will get Wrong Turn on 4K. Yes. Yeah, they're very they're very different. Yeah, I talk about that. I think that's what people are misunderstanding is I think that that's where the boom is going to be. I don't think these younger generation are, you know, excited for Second Sight films and Vinegar Syndrome right now. Maybe in time, but I think right now they're just looking to beef up their collection with old favorites or hidden gems. And I think where it's going to start is it's going to start at the thrift. I think that's where it's going to start for most of these kids. It's not going to start, buying new movies. I think it's going to be starting to buy the movies that they grew up with. And that's what I talk about at the beginning. Dude, we're old, man. We're old. I have a DVD of it. I just talked about it in my last video, but I don't have a VHS of Rocktober Blood. But I mean, I appreciate everybody who's watching this, guys that are in their 50s, 60s, 40s, 30s. And if I have people in here, let me know. Is anybody in here in under 30? I'm just curious. I'm just curious if there's anybody in here that's under 30 years old. BMX Bandits is coming home. I'll have BMX Bandits soon, so you'll get a full review on that new set from me. I love it too. But yeah, I'm just curious because my analytics say that most of my watchers are from like between the age of like 30 and 50. So I'm just curious if I have any younger people. That's cool. See, like that, I like that. Like I like having all you guys in here because everybody can relate to me that are around my age. But like I said before, it's cool to see younger people that are getting into this stuff that watch me for either, things to pick up or movies they never seen and whatever. So it's really cool, like I said, that there's younger people that are getting into this. So that's the only way to keep it alive. 22? Sick. That's wild. Well, thank you guys for being here, everybody. And like I said, check out the content, especially if you're always looking for classic physical media editions, out of print stuff, movies maybe you've missed. Definitely check those things out. You know, I do a lot of list videos. You can watch those as well. But guys, thank you for hanging with me. We've been out here for an hour and 15. It's late on a Tuesday. BMX Bandits, day one. 80s made. Will you email me? Look, check your email. But guys, thanks again for checking this out. Like I said, you will get a video from me on Thursday this week, and you will get one on Sunday this week. And maybe if I have a little bit of time, you'll catch me live again. But guys, you guys have been awesome. We've had well over 100 people in here all night, which I do appreciate. I don't share my age either, but I'm older than 30. Guys, thank you for checking this out. Hit that like button on the way out. Hit the hype button on the videos. It's an easy way to help support the channel. This is Garrett at Born2beRad. And like always, stay